How we doing? How we doing? I think my Discord's hooked up to my headphones, Ducos. That must be the problem here. I need it's all this dinging. I need to turn that off. 1 second. There we go. What's up, Vans? How are you? Stickman? Spare Change? Grievous? I don't know if I've seen y'all in here. What's going on? YouTube, Twitter, what's up? Yeah, I didn't hear you, Duco. I'm sorry. So yeah, happy Tuesday night. Man, I am a little disappointed on how everything ended up today. Just kind of, I don't love how they broke out middle of the day. I mean, Tesla was an absolute rocket. I mean, this would have been an amazing trade. And now I think you guys can see why I wanted to trade that 180 break. So, I'm looking at the right thing. Once again, it just did not trade out early in the morning. It is what it is. This pattern happens sometimes, you get that opening run and then it kind of does a little bit of a flag pattern here and then it runs. I mean, sometimes it's just that simple. Sometimes that's why it pays to sit at your desk for a longer time. This happened 2.5 hours after the opening bell. So, yeah, it just sometimes it happens like that, and I hate it. But, we'll look at all this stuff a little bit later on in the lesson, just so we can cover some other things that you guys would like. NVDA earnings tomorrow, that's going to be huge. So I'm excited for that. Could give us some good trades later on in the week. NVIDIA looks like it is ready to blast off. It's kind of the same thing that happened here, right? You get a couple, days of consolidation, rip up. This thing looks like it's ready to fire off. Honestly, it looks like there's a trade there tomorrow. I just don't think that I can personally do that. I mean, I hope that you guys can notice just by looking at this chart that it's ready to go. I mean, does it not look like this is coiled up, ready to short squeeze again? To me, it does. But if earnings come out bad, we could see sub 900 again. I just don't know. And I'm not going to be the guy to earnings gamble it. Yes, you could buy a 1200 call if you want. I don't think that we're going to go that high, but I do think over 1,000 is very doable on earnings, which I hate. Ideally, it kind of opens flat on like expected or small good news, and then we can trade that all-time high up to 1,000. Sometimes, timing of the market sucks for day traders because to me, this is an A+ setup here chart-wise, but we're kind of screwed because earnings is going to rip this one way or the other pretty big, I would expect. Do I know that it will? No, but we will see. Would like to see a 5-to-1 split on NVIDIA. Yeah, the last time they split, they were around like an $800-900 stock. So around where we are now. I don't know that they are planned to split soon. If they do plan that, it'd be in a few months. It wouldn't be like right off the bat. So, but yeah, I mean that would be great, right? That would allow other investors to, people with just smaller capital to come into the trade, right? Because if you're an institution, what's up, RB? If you're a bank or institution, you don't necessarily care what the trade price is. It's just, I'm going to put X amount of dollars into this stock. So if that means I can only buy 100 shares or 100 million shares, it doesn't matter. It's, I'm going to invest this much, look for this return, have this risk on, that kind of thing. you're not necessarily looking for a specific trade price. So it would be more so for the everyday person to invest in it, which would make sense, right? Because that would bring in more buyers, that would bring in more investors, and bring in more money and capital to the company. NVIDIA is the strongest stock in the entire market, right? Um, there's no one even close this year. NVIDIA has taken the gold medal for it. Tesla is actually one of the worst stocks this year. Typically, it's one of the better ones, percent return wise, but it's doing very, very bad. NVIDIA, the huge breakout happened at 500. The big earnings gap up actually happened around 300 when it gapped to 500 ish, and then it ran. What did Quench exercise at 200 250? I don't know exactly spare change, but I know that he held some. I don't know if he's still in that NVIDIA swing, but he bought leaps on NVIDIA that he was up like 3,000% on. And he bought those like way, way, way down here. Hang on, let me back out a little bit here. He bought those, I think. I don't want to say COVID lows, but I mean, probably down here around 250. Maybe you're getting that 250 price right. I think that might be around where he started buying in, and he bought leaps. And I mean, he caught an unbelievable move, and I think there's probably still a lot more room in this. This is one of the most valuable companies in the world, and I think it's only going to get better. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, it was NVIDIA. I know that for a fact. I've seen the screenshots and stuff, but 2,000% on $1,000 is, you do the math. He was going to do CC on it. Don't remember. Yeah, I mean, I think he did exercise some, just to hold some shares. But I mean, guys, this looks like a monster. This looks like it's ready to absolutely fire off. So, again, I hope that earnings doesn't just like rip this up to like 1,200. I think that's probably a bit of a stretch. I have a feeling we're probably going to end up breaking 1,000. If that happens, okay, whatever. Does that mean that I'm going to swing earnings? No, this could easily do bad and get ripped down to 850, even 800. It's all going to come down to how they do. I haven't looked at any sort of earnings expectations or predictions or anything. That's just not really what I do. But I think it is something that I might consider doing tomorrow morning, just to have some sort of an idea of what could happen. I would love to trade this. Tomorrow to me would be like a perfect day to catch a solid day trade on this to the upside. However, we just have earnings, so there's just not a whole lot that I can do. So for anyone on Twitter, you guys can ask questions and I can see those as well. Discord, you guys know how it goes. Today, where did Netflix end up today? Actually, right there at 650. Dang it. Slow mover. Very hard to trade this Netflix trade. I mean, you could have probably dip bought a little bit, but it just took a while. It took the entire day. You kind of got to rip there at the end of the day, and that's all right. But all-time high is 700. So there's really nothing that's going to be in our way until then. What's pretty cool is Bill Ackman bought a ton of Netflix at $350 a share. He got murdered on the earnings right after. So I remember this, right? So Netflix got killed on earnings. He kind of let it trickle around for a little bit, started buying at 350, and that's why you see this little pop here. He bought in, people wanted to buy in. It just kind of trickled around a little bit longer. The next earnings killed it. He was down roughly 50% on that position. I think he did end up buying more. I think the ARK by Cathie Wood, that hedge fund, bought some as well. And, now he's up almost 100%. But, it kind of made sense for him to buy it, right? Netflix, a stock that's not going to go anywhere. Everyone watches Netflix. 700 down to 350 is a 50%, loss on the share price. So that's why he picked 350. He was hurt for a little while. From, let's see here, May, he was hurt for about 6 months until he got back to even. And now about a year later, he is up heavy. So that's just what hedge funds do. You know, they are here for the long haul. They want to buy stocks at good prices and hold them, and they will. They can deal with pain. They have the capital to do so. And that's just what they do, you know? Yeah, nice tax write-off. There's no stupid question, Vans. When we are supposed to look for volume coming in as something starts to get going, where are we looking for that? Is it the volume bars at the bottom of the screen or somewhere else? I have trading view and trade the day trades on Webull. So yes, so I mean, you're 100% right. You're looking at the volume bars on the bottom. So like today when I was in Tesla, on this very small little trade here, I can see that obviously the opening 5-10 minutes are going to have the most volume, right? And volume kind of dies off. You see a little bit of a spike here when it broke through high a day. Great, whatever. Volume died off again here. We had this consolidation with low volume. That's kind of where I'm like, okay, one side or the other is going to win. All I'm waiting for is volume to kick in here. And then boom, once we saw these really strong, fast candles started getting in, volume picked up. And you know, the thing is, Vans, a lot of the times, okay, so let me just back up here. When I am trading a pattern break, so whether that's a bull flag, bear flag, wedge pattern, whatever, I will then wait for volume to come in and then I will get it. For the trade here today, sometimes I'm in a little bit early, right? I'm anticipating that move because I know where there could and should be a trade. Does that mean it's guaranteed? No, of course not, right? But I know where buyers and sellers should be acting one way or the other, and then I'm kind of predicting that move. So if I get in a little bit early and then I see the volume come in, well, that confirms that I'm looking at the right thing, right? But just, you know, this is just my style. For a pattern break, I'm waiting for volume to come in first. Because for pattern breaks, there is no guaranteed pattern. If, you know, stock XYZ crosses some weird, you know, random orange line on your chart, doesn't mean it's going to go up or down, right? So I want to have confirmation of volume first before I get it. A lot of times on my day trades, I'm anticipating the move and I'm kind of in before the volume. Or if I'm a little bit late, I can see that volume starting to kick up early on. That's why you'll hear me talk about, okay, well, there's 10 seconds, 15 seconds left in this candle, right? Because I want to see where that candle's closing. And then I can also look at, okay, the last 60 seconds, right, on the candle previous, we saw 50,000 volume. Well, we're only 20 seconds into this 1 minute candle and we're already at 40,000 volume. So there's more volume coming into this early on in the candle. So that is kind of the first sign to me that volume should be above that previous candle and could be the start of a kind of a volume spike on the next few candles. Does that make sense? I know that was kind of detailed, but that's just how my mind works. And that's how I can spot things a little bit earlier where I can get those better entries and exits. So just real quick bullet points on that. For normal kind of day trades that aren't patterns, I'm trying to anticipate volume. For a trade just like this that we're seeing here on Tesla, I would then wait for these candles to start kind of moving because I'm expecting a move this big. So I'm okay with getting in, you know, 1 or 2 candles late and the volume being there to prove to me that there is money coming into this. There are other, you know, traders looking at this, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So I know that I'm not trying to be early to the party. I'd rather be a little bit late when the party's, you know, jumping than be early and there's nothing going on. You know what I mean? That's kind of a weird analogy there, but that's how I look at it. I was looking at it, but could not exactly what you saw until now. That makes sense. Okay, good. If you have any other questions on that, feel free to ask. I mean, that was not a stupid question at all. That was a great question. I can, you know, and even if you just ask a simple question, I can elaborate on it like that. What is your favorite strat setup? So, you know, spare change, like there's a lot of people that look for a very, very specific setup. To me, I look for more of like criteria. I'm not going to trade in the middle of chop, right? If like AMD right now, a lot of people are like interested in AMD, and yeah, maybe it can move because NVIDIA is moving on. But I have this box here to just help me visualize why I don't want to be touching this stock. So I'm not going to go over a specific setup. I'm going to go over criteria that I need to, kind of be checked off for me to actually consider taking a trade. So AMD, I have this box here because, yeah, AMD, like I said, could be a mover, right? It's moved a little bit, still not moving that well. But look what's going on here in the past. A lot of chop, a lot of up and down moves, very small candles, not a lot of volume, just kind of a lot of up and down movement that I don't want to be involved in. I'm looking for big breakouts, right? So like I was involved here after this thing broke out. Like I maybe had 1 or 2 day trades up in this area. Other than that, I didn't touch it because it popped up, fell back down, and we're just trading in the range. So right now we're trading in this box and there's just not a lot of movement, and it's proving to be true, right? There's really nothing going on right now when I think AMD could have a chance to run up with NVIDIA earnings tomorrow, right? Okay, so that's just like one thing I'll look for. Another thing is like a catalyst. So like I really love to trade Netflix and Meta and Microsoft or whatever or Boeing stocks that could really give me a nice return, but I can't trade them on a day-to-day basis because they don't have a lot of volume. So ideally, we have a chart set up and then a catalyst that comes into it to help the stock move very cleanly with volume. All the candles are nice and clean. They move strong. There's no random chop. The contracts will have volume, so there's not big spreads on the contracts, stuff like that. I guess the basis of my strategy is just like breakouts. So like I'm not looking to trade reversals, like where I want something to run up and then reject and fall back down. Like I'm not trying to capture that move. Same with bounces. I'm not looking to buy dips on a stock where it's bouncing off of over and over because again, it's just my style. It's how my mind works. And that's why you're here is to try to figure out what you're good at. I'm very good at noticing when breakouts are about to happen. Just because I've traded the same way for many years, I know exactly what I want to see, and I will not take a trade until I see exactly what I want to see. It's really that simple. So it's kind of hard for me personally to give you like a perfect setup or a perfect strategy. It's really just my style and my experience, and it's like muscle memory to me now, right? And that's why I can teach it. And what I teach is very specific. Just like I went over the Vans on how I read volume myself, there may be other people that read it differently. There's unlimited ways to trade the market. You just have to find what you're good at. And like to me, it's like, okay, when I say breakouts, to me that's very broad. There's a lot of different ways to trade breakouts, right? But I started trying to trade many different ways. I honed in on breakouts just because it worked well with the way that my mind works and the way that I think. And there's some ways to trade breakouts that I'm not good at. There's some ways to trade breakouts that I'm very good at. And over time, you're going to figure out what you're good at and what you're not good at. And then you just, you just hone in and find your niche. Once you can find one way to become profitable in the market and you can do that consistently, you've won. There's no reason ways whenever, you're the numbers don't lie. You know what I mean? You can trade 50 different ways, but you can trade 2 ways out of the 50 very good. There's no reason to trade many other ways. But in the beginning, you kind of have to try things and you're going to lose, right? Typically, maybe you have a little bit of early success, whatever it is. But over time, you're going to figure out what you're good at, what you understand the best, stuff like that. RB, Umar swears by footprint charts. Have you ever used one? So footprint charts are basically a visual level 2. So there's like a heat map, which is another visual way. And then there's footprint charts. So I think I could even pull up. Let me just go on a 1 minute here and show you what a footprint chart is. Let me get off this stock. It's too bright. Let's see here. Chart mode. So Okay, so it's going to be something more like monkey bars, I think. Unexpected error. Okay, hang on. Let's take this off. It's kind of screwing it up here. Let's try this. So I mean, it's. I know this isn't exactly like it is RB, but doesn't this look similar to kind of what he's looking at? It's those candlesticks without really color, and you just see numbers on them. Yep. Yeah. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And honestly, I don't know how to read them. I'm sure if I spend some time, I could, but there's so many different candlestick uh, variations that it's just going to take time. Again, it's like I've traded the same way for a long time. I'm not going to switch. Umar has been someone who has a very long trading career. I think he's done it for maybe like 12, 15 years. And he's done a lot of research into other ways of trading. But, maybe that's why he's very, very, very successful. I just don't know. He trades SPY mainly now, but it all comes down to the basic principles, right? There's only so much data that you can look at. So, like, I look at level 2, he basically has level 2 on the candlesticks. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a style for him. He may understand it better, but like I've said, 100 times already, it's more of um, what works well with your thought process in your mind, your personality. What kind of style of a trader are you? So I hope that answers your question. Spare change, usually working when I'm trading. Yeah, no problem, man. I mean, there's always outside the market, outside the screen things that are going to change things up for you. He has plenty of time to wait also from what I tell. Yeah. Yeah, he uses 30-minute charts. He's a much more patient trader now, and I think that that's also something I've done. I've told you guys 100 times that I used to take 2, 3, 4 trades a day. And I can still find those small opportunities, but it's just not worth it to me anymore. Why put the stress on? Why put the risk on? Why put yourself in the environment where you're kind of training yourself to be like, okay, I can take 100 trades a day. Okay, well, the day that comes around when you lose 2 in a row and you're comfortable taking many trades, your mind's going to start trying to find random chart setups that really wouldn't make sense if you weren't right on the day. And then you're going to end up just losing more. You're going to start kind of death spiraling and lose and lose and lose. And then next thing you know, you've blown up an account taking 30 trades that day, trying to make your money back from the first 2. RB, there you go. Big reason why it's like, as much as I hate having those cash days with you guys where I don't do anything, but I walk you through everything, I want that to, help train you and teach you that it really is easy once you do it a couple times and just kind of swallow your pride. And you're just that much more patient and you only take good setups because all it takes is 1 or 2 good trades a week and you'll make as much as you do taking 10 most of the time. And I think you understand that deeply now. What else we got here? A lot more people on Twitter. If you guys have any questions, ask away. This is my one free night a week to answer anything you guys have. Yeah, in Vans, that's another thing. I know guys that set a timer, and at so 11 for you is 10 o'clock my time. So, 11 Eastern is kind of creeping up into that lunchtime on the East Coast, and that's like a golden rule for a lot of traders is 11. And I'm glad that you even say that number is because to me that means that you're looking at the right thing. And like today, right? There are times when the market will give opportunities late in the day. You're either going to be the guy who sits at his desk all day and will capture these moves later on. And yeah, maybe you can make a little bit more money. But as you have to be disciplined enough to not do anything when the market's dead during the middle of the day. Because like I said, there are times, very rarely, when you'll see something like Tesla here on my screen. It moves 2.5 hours after the market opened when typically things are dead. So to me, I rather not even put myself into that position and just move on and miss, 1 or 2 moves a month maybe, than to train myself to sit there all day. And then, those, 1 or 2 days when maybe you're tired or, like hungover or something. I mean, I don't know, sick, um, and you're not thinking clearly, and then you start trying to trade midday, and you lose a week or month's worth of profits. What's up, Farouk? You forgot about 6 p.m. Oh yeah, 6 p.m. your time. Yeah, we're just kind of chilling. Nothing going on here. Um, we're already about 30 minutes in those. I mean, I'm going to chart here a little bit more towards the end, but I would love to answer more questions if you guys have it. Yeah, that's what I'm here for. My Thursday night lessons are when they're off stream, and that's where I record a very specific lesson over, a specific topic. My Tuesday night lessons is like a free for all. I'm here to answer questions, kind of chart out what I'm looking for the next day, and move on. So we can be here for the full hour, or we can be here for 30 minutes. It's all up to you guys. I know sometimes it's hard to ask questions. Okay. Are you on mic, Farouk? I can put my headphones on for you real quick. Give me 1 sec. All right, ask away.
On the street with French and another guy, I think it was. They were talking about a few stocks that I hadn't heard of, like Dosen. One of them was Snow. I had no idea about Snow, but
Okay.
it's been on my watch list. And I was just talking to Porterhouse about it on another forum, and he is indicating that it has a bullish pattern. And I'm trying to read this myself, and I'm trying to get more opinions of what might also think has a bullish pattern, because I just don't see it, or maybe I don't have the experience to see a bull pattern, because the last few days I've been watching it, it's been not doing so good.
Okay, so I know Snow. I think you said Dawson, so probably DOCN. Okay, well, let me just give you. Are you looking at my screen? I'm sure you are. Okay. Cool. So I'm gonna start with DOCN. I'm guessing that's the ticker, right? Just give me one more yes. DOCN. Okay, cool. So again, every trader is going to look at a chart differently. So I don't want to contradict Quench. I don't want to make you think differently, right? He may have a complete Snow is your question. Okay, so I'll do Snow right after this. So I just want to put this out there before I go over any of this. Every trader is going to look at a chart differently. I could contradict him, or I could agree with him. It looks to me here on Dawson that I'm going to agree for sure. And why. So I'm going to give you just a few things. And again, I have no idea what he said about this. So maybe my stuff will line up, maybe it won't. But I see a gap here from the last earnings way back in August of 2023. To me, it looks like, this kind of looks similar to Microsoft, right? So it's kind of the same thing, right? You get the run up, you kind of get the pullback. And then, once this thing starts ramping back up into the highs, since you kind of have a flat top here at a perfect level. So Dawson, it's kind of the same thing, right? Right here at 41, 42, you kind of have that flat top where we have rejected a lot of times. We came up here to 40 and rejected again. So back over 40 is kind of where I'd put that on my radar. And then up through 42, I would like that. And then I think 50 is what you're saying is a good target. I completely agree with that. So I think that looks like a good trade. It's not a day trade, right? It's not something that I'm going to be looking at on a day-to-day basis. It's a more of a swing trade. And like you said, January options for a call. I agree. It's going to be a little bit longer term trade. It may take 2-3 months, but to me, that makes 100% sense. Next, Snow. So I've traded Snow a handful of times. From a day trading standpoint, I'm not interested whatsoever. We do have earnings, though. I think, we have earnings tomorrow after close. So it's going to be NVDA and Snow. I'm doing a stream for that as well, by the way. So, nice, fans. Yeah. So, I mean, I 100% agree on DOCN for sure. Next. So, I mean, above like 170, I mean, I think you can kind of see what I'm looking at here, right? So, I mean, you kind of have a level here like 165 and then 170. I would say above 170, I would start looking at that. And then you kind of see 180, then 190, then 200. And then you have this massive gap from, this earnings way back when. That is kind of where. So, I mean, like to me, yeah, from a day trading perspective, I do think that there is some sort of trade in here. To me, the better trade and where I would be a little bit more inclined to trade it would be, and again, this is from a day trading perspective. So yes, you could buy here, hold for a couple months and let this trickle around and move around, do whatever until it gets back up into 200. And then you could see a nice trade as well up in here. To me, I would look to trade it up in this area. That's where I want to be involved. I don't necessarily want to be involved down here, but I do think that there is a trade from here up into this area. So there's kind of two trades there. Did you talk about a snow call? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about these trades. So how do you work two trades? Well, I'm just saying like, well, no, I'm not saying that there's two trades right now. I think that you can either catch this trade here and then catch this trade separately, or you can catch the entire thing at once. You know what I mean? Like to me, there's two areas for action. Like, you could see a really nice trade in here, and then it could chop around for 2-3 months and not really go anywhere, and then it has another move, or it just does the whole thing at once. I don't know. I'm just looking at this like, okay, there's two areas that would pique my interest on where I think that this could move around a little bit. Yeah, 100%. Twitter, I'll say it one more time. If you guys have questions, ask away. I got about 29 minutes here until I'm done. So yeah, I mean, I agree with both of them. TK Tesla. Let's look. So, I mean, yeah, obviously crazy day on Tesla. Very bummed that I missed that. We did catch a piece of it this morning, right? And then it decided to rip 2.5 hours after the open today. So that sucks. And we got shareholder vote. I'm guessing what, June 13, Porter? Yeah, okay. Well, there you go, right? Catalyst hit, this thing ran. But like I was talking about early on in the stream, it's like if you're the guy that sits here all day and is here for it, you could have made a lot of money today. For me, it's just my routine. I'm gone after about an hour, hour and a half. And 8 out of 10 times per se, nothing will happen after that hour or 2 hours after the market open. But there is that 10-20% of the time where you're going to see a move like this. It just happens. That's why, like when I'm on a trading floor, you're there all day. You're there until the market close. Yeah, there is a lunch break or whatever. You go pick up lunch, but you're at your desk 90% of the time. I want to be that quad which you can do that comes in 3 or 4 times a year for an hour and just goes home. Yeah, no, I mean that's crazy. You remember that, Porter? Yeah, it's insane. There's guys that come in there and just turn their computer on if something happens, or they check up on their algos and they go home. It's crazy. I mean, imagine a life like that. You just don't do anything and you've spent a ton of time coding some algorithm that trades for you, and you are literally living a vacation. Like, you could work out, right? I mean, you have that. Maybe you do, real estate, or, you do something else. I mean, you can't just sit at home and just rake in money all day. You know what I mean? I definitely enjoy always keeping up with it, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy to have some like robot just raking in money for you. Well, you guys got any other questions for me, or should I kind of get the charting and then we can wrap things up? Do another 5 years. Yeah, no, I mean, who knows where I'll be in 5 years. Hope I'm like running my own hedge fund or something. That'd be pretty crazy. I doubt that, but we'll see. Okay. Well, I guess we can get in charts. Twitter, I'm getting nothing out of you guys. So if there's no questions from y'all, then I'll get going. Yeah, no, true thing, Steak Man. Who knows? Who knows? Well, I mean, I hope you guys understand. You understand why I was looking at 180. I mean, I'm looking back here. I forgot that I did these little circles over here, but you can see why 180 meant something. Rejected here, rejected here, rejected here again. Kind of just held up all day. News hit, gone. Once we broke through 180, it was just kind of a circuit breaker for this thing, and it ripped. So next level is probably going to be like, I think I would say 190. I mean, 185 is going to mean a little something. So I'll mark that off. And then 190, I mean, every $5 level is going to do a little something. So 190 next. $190, then 200. So I'm really interested in 200. All this stuff in here, whatever. I can assume Berkshire Hathaway B is a long term. Yes. I would. There's a ton of Berkshire Hathaway stocks with different classes. So when you're looking at like Class B, there's Class A. I mean, I think Class A is like $40,000 a share. So I don't. It's not pulling up on Thinkorswim for me. Well, I mean, yeah, I just know. I mean, like we all know Berkshire Hathaway. I mean, it's just what is it, Warren Buffett? So to me, it's more of an investment. It's not really something to day trade and stuff. So I mean, if you caught a nice move on it, great. I remember you talking about being up 95% today. I'm telling you, take it, take it, take it. So I'm glad you did. I am glad you did. So Tesla, going to be watching. That's kind of more of a side watch tomorrow. With the news late in the day today, I think tomorrow morning there might be a little something there for us, just because people may have missed the move today. Maybe people got in and swung this overnight. Maybe there's a little bit of a gap up here at 190. Maybe look for like a little break and retest here up into 200. Maybe that's there. NVDA, guys, I mean, this would be an 8+ setup for me. But all right, take care. What was I going to say? Yeah, 8+ setup for me, but I've already said it a couple times this stream. But earnings are tomorrow, so contracts are going to be very expensive. They're going to be moving, all sorts of crazy. Is it tradable? Yeah, I mean, of course it is. But if you want to trade contracts that are 200% what they're normally worth, then do your thing. I probably won't. Maybe I will. I don't know. I do think the setup is so great, and I kind of hate missing out on it. So I just don't know where earnings are going to take it. But Thursday morning, I am sure that there will be some sort of trade there for us as well. Microsoft, that was the other one. We broke through 430 today, which I didn't like. We did close under though, which I do like, because that then offers us another trade tomorrow. So it looks like we're probably going to be up a little bit in the morning. So what do you think I'm going to look for? Since we're not under 430, and I'm going to look for a pullback and a rip, what am I going to look for? Ideally, we open up here, we pull back down into 430, maybe do some sort of little pattern here, and we break through high day, break through yesterday's high, and we get the move, right? So that's kind of the trade I'm looking for tomorrow on it. So that'll be one of my main watches. Let me do a quick little alert here. 432.97. What else? What did Micron do? Still right under 130. So I'm going to do probably another alert here. And then, I don't know, Netflix did good today. I just don't think I'm going to keep chasing it day after day here. It's had 2 really good days. Typically, it'll probably start puttering out. I mean, look, we got about 2.5 good days here, and then it started slowing up. It was a hard trade, right? The last 2 days, it hasn't been easy to trade. It's given us opportunities to buy and hold for, a good 1, 2, 3 hours, but nothing really to day trade to my liking. Is there money to be made? Yes. Is it easy? No, not really. So I would expect it to kind of chill out, but above 650, I mean, kind of the same principle as Microsoft, right? If we open above 650, look for a pullback, see buyers coming there at 650, look for a high day break, look for a $2, $3 move, get out. The only problem is there's just not much volume right now. I want to see volume really kick into the stock so we can get some trades out of it. But, just looking at the chart here, and I want you guys to notice what I'm seeing. Let's see here for you guys on Twitter. You can't really see it. So why do I trade Netflix around earnings, and why am I even interested around earnings? Well, what happens every earnings? You get the volume spike. Obviously, the huge candles you guys see here are on the earnings day, and really the day right after. So the day before, the day on, the day before, the day after, they have volume, and that's why I'm interested in trading it on those 1, 2, 3 days. And then very shortly after, volume is dead. And then here comes earnings around. Day before, day of, day after, might get a trade or two there, and then it's dead. Same thing back here, right? So, I mean, it's the same principles over and over and over again that I follow. So, yeah, I mean, Netflix, the only reason I'm looking at it right now is because they're kind of have that, I think it's still pending, that NFL deal. So if that goes through, maybe stock falls down because it's been ripping up into the news. So it'll kind of be like a sell the news scenario. When the news hits, stock falls. Or it rips even higher. I just don't know, because all-time highs are very close. We're less than 10% from all-time highs, so it's very doable. Is Ultra oversold? Number of news is selling off earnings May 30. Do you mean Ulta? I'm guessing you mean Ulta. Or what's Ultra? I'm guessing Ulta, D Nichols. Yeah, I mean, just getting killed here. I think Ulta was big, obviously, in the last year. Ultra, what's the ticker? Ulta. Okay, there we go. Okay, cool. So I'm on the right thing. Yeah, so honestly, I don't know really why it's selling off. I think that possibly, considering inflation, considering it's hard for a lot of the everyday people to buy groceries and gas and all that, I think maybe, girls may not have the money to buy as much makeup. I don't know if they've had any sort of deals with like the Kylie Jenner, or whatever, the Kardashians. I don't know much about the space, to be honest with you, but I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. I don't know. So maybe the earnings kick back up. It looks like they didn't do very good on their Q4 earnings for last year. So that means that around Christmas time and the holidays, there just wasn't that much makeup. But as you can see here, that it ripped into the end of the year, into the holiday season, and then it just kind of died once Q1 or Q4 earnings came out. So now we're going to get the Q1 earnings for this year. So maybe it's good or not. But again, I don't know much about the space. It's not really something that I trade ever. I've never traded it before. We're down here around 52-week lows. Is Ulta going anywhere? No. But like I said, thinking out loud, considering how expensive a lot of everyday items are, from rent to eggs to milk to groceries to gas to clothes to anything, I think that beauty products are probably down on the list of necessities, and they've probably just lost revenue for that reason, possibly. So that may not be a reason at all. To me, that's just how I would look at it, and I think that makes somewhat of sense. What do you think about D Nichols? You agree with that? You like that? Does it look like a nice spot to buy this for value? Yeah. I mean, it's at 380. It was at 580, 2-3 months ago. So yeah, I think value wise, it's a pretty good spot. So yeah, guys, we got about 15 minutes here. We can wrap it up now. We can wait longer. I don't really care. I'm here for y'all. Oof. But yeah, so I mean, obviously I'll be watching the video tomorrow just because of earnings. I do have that stream at market close for that. Going to be watching Tesla, going to be watching Microsoft. Let me look at Meta real quick. Be watching Micron a little bit. I don't know that I want to trade that again. Meta, not really in an area that I am interested in, so probably going to stay away from that. Netflix, I'll watch it on the side, but probably going to stay away from that as well. Goldman Sachs popping off here. What's going on with these banks? All the banks are doing pretty good. It's kind of weird. What's WeWork at? That's insane. Vans, I'll be online tomorrow. Not on my normal time though. I'm covering for Mr. SLP. He usually goes off at 11 Eastern, so I will be doing the 11 Eastern to 12 Eastern stream. But as you're well aware, that's not really my golden hour per se, but I'll be there for it. So very, very, very high chance that I won't be taking a trade, but I'll just kind of be there to hang out, talk to you guys, kind of similar to what I'm doing here. I think it's a premium stream only though. So to me, that's what I'm going to be doing. Just kind of hanging out. Probably already be done trading for the day. In the morning though, I will be typing in the day trade chat like you've seen before. So I will be doing that. And then I have the NVDA and Snow earnings stream at market close. That'll be streamed to all platforms as well. So yeah, guys, that's really all I got. Yeah, busy day for me. Busy day for sure. Even outside of the market, I am. So it'll be nonstop. Yeah, for sure, guys. So I mean, we can wrap it up here unless there's any last minute questions. Twitter, giving you guys ample chances. I'm not seeing anything from y'all. YouTube, Twitch, y'all too. This is the one night a week I do free stuff. So now is your time, or I'm wrapping it up here in about 2 minutes if everyone else is done. All right, cool. All right, Discord. Well, thank you guys. Vans, I'll see what you have to say real quick. Cool. All right, y'all. Well, thanks for tuning in. Pretty casual. So I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, and let's make some money. Let's keep the week going strong. It's been a really great last 2 days. So Let's keep it up. Be smart. I'll see y'all in the morning. Later.